we're going to go ahead and record this, and we'll record tomorrow as well. And then we have some people who won't be able to attend because of vacations already scheduled and those kind of things. That's okay, and we'll be able to share that with them. So I want to, and actually my people in Mandeville, if you have questions, please chime in. This is interactive. It's for you, and I want to make sure that you get all the information that you need. So let me give you some history of why 30, 60, 90 and where that came from. Because for most of you, I would imagine you might not be familiar with career visioning. Career visioning is Keller Williams' way of how our mega agents, our rainmakers hire and add people to their team. They will go through a career visioning or leverage series process. It is also how we hire for the market center. So when we want to take on somebody new into the market center or fill a position, we go through what we call the career visioning process. Through the career visioning process, there is a, once you've made a hire, they go on to what we call a 30, 60, 90 plan. And what is beautiful about that is when you add somebody, it gives them their duties, their job description. They can check off their list. They know clearly what the expectations are. And so I've been a fan of career visioning. I've used it personally for my team before I became your team leader. And I've used it now within our market center, and it works. And the biggest response that I've gotten back on the career visioning, and even talking to other leaders and other rainmakers and megas, is that the 30, 60, 90 is a plan. It allows for conversation to happen. It allows for expectations to be met. And I will tell you, you guys, would you guys agree that sometimes the biggest mistakes that we make in life are from miscommunications? Yeah, right? I mean, that's really what happens is when there's not clarity around something or there's a miscommunication in the dialogue that goes through. And so something that I've been pondering with so many people, and if you guys encourage you to come to the ALC meetings when you can, because we talk about the financials of the market center, we're looking at the production, and when so many people were not producing here in our market center, that was alarming to me, because I met many of you at Career Night. And at Career Night, I saw your energy and I saw your passion. And if you've been through my Career Nights, you know that I ask you to share. Why real estate? Why are you coming into this? And the stories that I would hear over and over again would just validate you on why you were coming into this. And then something happens. We come into real estate and then we're not able to get off the ground. We're not able to get going. And there's multiple reasons for that. Sometimes it is because we're in dual careers, right? Sometimes it's because we have another job. We got to exit out of that before we can actually come into this full time. Another one is that we just, even though we've passed the real estate exam and we've learned some skills, we might not have the confidence to go out and do the job and do the things that we need. So we have all of these reasons of why we don't get into production. And there's a bold law that says you can have reasons or results and you can't have both. So I've been struggling with that. If that's the reality, then why do we allow so many reasons of why we're not in production, right? And why are we not to this high level? And I would say, you know, even my Mandeville people, you guys listen in, did you guys come into this with not wanting to sell a house at least your first month? Okay. How many of y'all came into real estate with the thought process or was even told it could take probably 6 months to a year to get started in real estate? Yeah, I apologize on behalf of Mandeville. How many of y'all? Raise your hand. Yeah, right? I apologize on behalf of our industry that was told to you. Because what I realized, that wasn't the case for me. That wasn't the case for you, Leslie. That wasn't the, if you go and talk to some of our top producing people, that wasn't the case for them. And so then I started thinking, well, what is the difference between people who jump right in and do it to people who say it might take me a year? See, there's another bold law. It says all work fills to the time allowed. So if we tell you it's going to take a year, it was us doing a disservice to you that you could take a year off. Or, you know what, it didn't come yet. We're going to let you keep going through it. And do you guys, I mean, you guys talk. Did you get frustrated? You're like, you know what, this isn't what I wanted. This isn't what I signed up for. This isn't what happens on HGTV, for heaven's sake, right? And so it's not okay. And then here's the thing. This company, this career changed my life. and it changed my family tree. And when I stand up before our career night in front of all of you and people who have come through our career nights, and the last one we had 30 people, or two before we had 30 people that were in there, and I share my story, I mean that story is not unique to me. My success story can very well be your success story. Leslie's success story can be yours. Will's can be yours. Nick, I see you in the room, can be Nick's success story. It's not unique to us. Anybody can do this, and I jokingly say that Molly, my 16-year-old, could probably go do real estate at this point because she's grown up in it now and has heard it. It's not legal to do it yet. Yeah, probably could. So what is the difference? I think the difference comes down to this. When I came into this, I came into it to succeed. I came into it and I said, I will not fail. I came into it and said, I don't need anyone else's goals or expectations on me. I'm just going to go and sell a house a month. I didn't even know that that was the average. Okay? I didn't even know that. And if that's the average, and we have 104 people in our company right now that hasn't even done 2 deals, hasn't even done a deal, right? That's scary to me, and that's not fair to you. So today, since this is our first one, and tomorrow, and on Saturday, this is me and your leadership team at KW MC94 taking a stand for you. I want to say that we believe in you so much to succeed in this that we're willing to take a stand and say all work fills to the time allowed, so you got 30 days. So there's 30 days when a new agent comes in. Can you have a contract of some sort in 30 days? Now, I'm not saying you got to go sell a house in 30 days. I'm not saying we're going to go over to 3069. I'm not saying that you have to even have a new listing. Because if you, once we go through this, you'll see that it could be a purchase. I mean, it could be a buyer's agreement. And this is what I know right now. The feds today, well, they met yesterday. I don't know if it's been released yet because I've been 5 minutes ago. Oh, because I was driving literally 100 miles an hour to get here to make it. We're about. Did they drop it? Yeah. I knew they would. 1/4%. Did they do 1/4? Okay, that's what was expected to do, y'all. If you would have told me in January we would be where we are right now with interest rates, I would have argued you. I would have said, there's no way. There's no way economically we can sustain this. The fact that we just dropped it, so another low. Y'all know the feds have not dropped interest rates since 2008? 2008, right? So the fact is that we're there, right? We have the lowest interest rate we could possibly have. What does that mean? That means buyers are ready to buy, right? Right now, our lenders are very busy. You know what they're busy with? Refis. Refis right now, like they love it. That's easy money for our lenders. So they are very happy right now, right? So the question becomes is who do you know that you can get a buyer's agreement on? Doesn't mean they're buying today. Doesn't mean they're buying in 3 months. It might be that they're 6 months out or a year, but now you have a contract. Now you have something that is in place with a client that you can follow up and do work with. When I first came into the industry, I actually wrote 100 note cards immediately to people in my data. At that time, I didn't have a CRM. Facebook was not around. Okay, Facebook was not there. I literally went on my phone and I had the old-fashioned address book that we used to have with Reggie and those things. I went in there. I found 100 people in my address book and I wrote a note card to them. You know the other thing that I did? I went into those 100 people and I said, can I do a CMA for you? Now, we did have email. Wasn't that long. In 2008, we still had email. I literally sent an email to all of my friends and families and all the soccer team, all the swim team, all the people that I knew and said, can I do a market analysis for you? Because in 2008, when the market was crashing, everybody kind of wanted to know what their property was worth, right? You have that same time zone happening right now in the same season with interest rates dropping. Do you think that there's a possibility that someone might would want to upgrade? What are they? So they probably would at 3.5 now, right? They're at 3, and in some cases, 3.25. Lower than that. VA, I will tell y'all this, VA, a refi on a VA right now is 3.1. 3.1. Okay, how many people though, here's the question, you thinking right now low interest rates might be looking to upgrade? Have you had that conversation? That's all this is talking about in the 30, 60, 90. Have you had the conversation? Have you picked up the phone and called some of your friends and family who you love and they love you and said, look, you saw it. It's all over the news that's dropping interest rates. Who do you know wants to buy right now? Who do you know is ready to upgrade? Who knows now that affordability, when we go to Mega Camp in a couple of weeks, Leslie, we're going to hear all about affordability now. Affordability is not an issue, right? People can go and get, and you can actually buy and have a lower note than renting right now. Guys, this is huge. Are you hitting your rental markets? All right? So there's lots of opportunity. All right? And y'all let me know if y'all say something and I don't hear you. I want to make sure, Mandeville, that you're plugged in too. So with this being said, I started saying we've got to take a stand for you. Now, we can't want it more than you, right? We can't want it more than you. Yet we can take a stand for you. We can put some things, hey girl, we can put some things in place for you that says, okay, this is the expectation. The expectation is that I can do it. And then we're going to share these success stories with you. Do you get encouraged when you see other people doing it? Like, okay, well, if they did it, I can do this, right? I believe that right now, every single agent that qualifies as a new agent or a non-producing agent in the past 12 months could go in the next 30 days and secure. Leader, I'm constantly looking at the market, the whole market, not just what Keller does, the whole market. Y'all, the number of transactions that's happening per month, which then if you go down per day, is phenomenal. There are more transactions that are happening every week than we have in our number of agents that we have in our market center. So are we getting our fair share? That's all. Can you go get one? Can you go get one? Right? Now, with that being said, you guys know that when you cap, that equals how much money? Does anybody know, like when you become a capper, about how much GCI that is?
1 million.
Not GCI, that's volume.
Oh.
So volume is around 1.8, 1.75 to 1.8 million, right? About how much GCI is that?
60,000.
A little bit less, Brian. Good guess though. 53,000, 8,000 on that. So here's the question. Our goal here at Keller is for every person to become a capper. Here was my aha and thinking about that. How many of y'all, that's your goal when you came into real estate, just to be a capper, just to make 53,000, right? Quite a few people. They're okay with that. And you know what I realized is that when I saw that 53,000 was the goal, and we had so many people in our markets that are not capping, do you know what that means? You're living at poverty or below, unless you have someone else supplementing your income or something else, unless you're dual career or something else. And I started thinking, oh my goodness, this is not okay. This is not okay, right? So the thing is that I don't think we always equate things to the financial end of it, right? And you guys are going to spend $1,500 to $2,000 every year just maintaining your license, okay? Just maintaining it, okay? And so the goal shouldn't be just to be a capper. That's the first goal. First goal is to become a capper. But how life-changing can it be for you and your family to go beyond and actually receive 100% of your commission so that you can wealth build? See, we talk about that all the time. That's the beautiful thing about Keller Williams, the fact that you can earn 100% and the fact that you can earn profit share money. And the sad reality of it is that very few people do, right? So I want to take a stand for that. Your leadership team has said, we'll take a stand. And then ultimately, because this affects our agent body, the ALC approved it and said onward. Let's take a stand for our people and let's get them into there. So with that being said, we're going to actually review the 30, 60, 90 now. And I think everyone in Manila, you guys have a copy?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, good. Okay, so the first thing is on the 30-day goal. So here's what we're going to do. You get to choose when you sign it. Because that's the thing. And Diane, I know you sent me an email about how we're tracking this. Okay, you're actually going to sign just like we do when we hire. When you hire somebody, we sign this. And then at 30 days, we're going to actually review it. And then at 60 days and then 90 days, a leadership person is going to be with you. So if you're in productivity coaching, it's probably going to be your coach. If you're not, we have Diana, me, Jennifer, Nick, a leadership person will meet with you. Okay, so we're going to, on leadership end, we're going to figure out what that looks like, probably by tribes, ultimately. Okay, yeah. The first thing is into your 30 days is everybody's asking, when does that start? Okay, it starts the day you sign. I'm going to be flexible enough with that. Okay, I know that there's some people that have back to school that's about to happen, and they're like, I want to be committed to this when school starts. I need to get my kids back in school so that I can get on my routine and then we start. And I'm okay with that. This is your career. We're taking a stand with you, so you get to choose when the 30 days start. Now, if you come to me in December and say, I'm ready to start my 30 days, what's the aha there? How? What's that, Jay? Yeah, it's the end of the year. We're gonna, that's another whole conversation, right? Yeah, you get to decide when you sign off on this. You can sign off today. You can say, I want to wait till August 15th. You can say, I want to wait till September 1st. I'm letting you guys make that decision. Once you sign off and you're ready to go, we're ready to go with you. Okay? So in the first 30 days, I need to make sure that if you've never attended Market Center orientation, that you've attended. Now, if you've already attended Market Center orientation, we know that because we've tracked that. We're going to check that off for you. Okay? So you're going to check that off. You get, whoop, boom, you're ahead of the game. Okay? But if you've never attended Market Center orientation, I do need you to attend that. Okay, so that you understand. Okay, now some of you should be ahead of the game on the next thing with the 100 contacts because we launched this several weeks ago, right? To get 100 contacts into command. Yet if you're not there yet, now you have a timeline to have that done. You know your goal is to have it done. Now I'm going to encourage you and ask you that when you have your 100 contacts, will you put it in your tribe, just like we've been doing. You guys have been seeing that. Maybe some of you that's in that. You put got my 100. Get it in there. Let us cheer you on. That's huge. We are looking at that from a Market Center perspective because we can't go to the next step until we have all of our people on board with this, right? So you're going to get 100 contacts into command, okay? And if you don't have 100 people, now we get to have a conversation. How do we help you get 100 people, right? Now we know how to help you through that, okay? We're going to ask that you attend a training for our paperless system. So you'll see right there, I have Loop and DocuSign on there, right? So Loop is going away in September. So right now, if you have not been through Loop training, you have to go through Loop training because you're going to get a contract in 30 days. We're going to have more training coming for DocuSign. So for some of you, you're going to do Loop now, and you're probably going to do DocuSign again with the rest of us. And that's okay, right? That's okay to have to do that, okay? You're going to attend a training on command. So right now, I don't know how many of y'all were here yesterday. I didn't get to pop my head into this one, the lab hours. It was full. Awesome. I know it was full in Mandeville last time. That's where you're going to get to check this off. We are giving you opportunities to come to lab. Come and learn. Bring your laptop. Learn command. Get your questions answered. Okay. The other big challenge that we're seeing right now, and this is actually a challenge with all agents in the market. Because we are in a shifting market, a lot of properties are not selling because they're overpriced. So what I've realized is that a lot of people really don't know how to do CMAs, right? And so on here, it's saying to attend either a CMA lab, and we're going to have to look at this as a leadership here if we need to teach a lab on that. Yet they're also taught at Nomar and Neighbor, okay? So get to learn how to do a CMA. And we're going to probably get you to show that to me, show that to a leadership member. We have to know how to do a CMA correctly. This is a real estate skill that everyone really needs to learn at a high level, okay? We want you to attend a contracts lab. So we're going to have labs. Chris Morris, I could just kiss her feet because she teaches contracts. She does a marathon day of it. She teaches them all. She's a phenomenal teacher with this. And so attending that of whatever, you got to hit all of them, right? You gotta know how to write a purchase agreement, a listing agreement, a lease agreement, a buyer. She goes over all of that. So if you haven't attended that, you need to attend a contracts lab. All right, so then the next one, have at least one contract signed. A listing agreement, a lease agreement, a buyer's agreement, or a purchase agreement. So I know that one is that's the one thing that everybody's probably feeling a little anxiety around. So let me encourage you. Getting a buyer's agreement is probably the easiest thing to do. If you talk to enough people, you're going to find someone at some point in their life are going to want to buy. So if they say, I'm going to hold out, I'm going to buy out in a year, great. I'd like to go ahead and enter into a contract with you. Let me start nurturing that. And go to your cousins, go to your aunts, go to your uncles, go to somebody who's over the age of 18 and has a job and can qualify for a loan and say, let's get into fellowship together, all right, to get that done. All right, the next one is have coffee with the tribe members. The reason I wanted to do this is one, to help out leadership, help out me, help out our coaches. We have a lot of people who always wants to have coffee or talk to us and pick our brains, and we love it. I'll tell you all day long. First of all, if you show up with coffee, you got me, right? But we love doing that. Yet with so many people in our market center, I think you guys are missing out on the talent that we have. We have some amazing agents that are in production that I think some of you would rather probably have coffee with than me. They're doing a phenomenal job. Okay, so this is to encourage you to get out of your comfort zone. Go to a top producing agent in your tribe and say, can I have coffee with you? I'll buy you a cup of coffee, and set a time limit on it. Say, I'm only going to take 45 minutes. I just have questions prepared ahead of time that you're going to get approved by your coach. And I have to give a shout out. Stacey Ray stepped into my office earlier, and I'm going to fill Casey Bowers. Is that who it was, Stacey Ray?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought so. I want to make sure I was having clarity on this. Had already reached out to Stacey and said, I have my 5 questions, you need to approve them. Like, we haven't been, this is our first meeting. She hasn't been to a meeting yet, right? I love that. That is someone that says success leaves clues, and I want to be a part of that, right? And so actually reaching out, get your 5 questions approved by your coach or a coach. If you're not coaching, the coaches will look at those for you. And then finally, attend a monthly business meeting. That's where we come together and we break bread, okay? It's like, that's where we all come together. We can celebrate each other. We can give the hugs. We can encourage. That's where you meet the other agents in our market center, right? If you're not officing in the market center or the business center or in A&E, and you're not in here, that's where you get to see who they are, who's doing what. We celebrate. We have the awards. That's where you can also find out, that's my next tribe member that I'm having coffee with, because look at what they're doing, right? I want to know what they're doing. Okay, you're gonna do that. Okay, any questions right now on the first 30 days? Mandeville?
No.
Nope.
Good, good. All right.
When you count a coach, if you're on a team and your team, that counts as a coach.
So I would be okay if it's an ALC member, team member, and you're on it, and Will is. So yeah, I'm fine with an
I
ALC
may
member.
want somebody different
Nope.
anyway, but I just want to
That
know
will
if
count.
would
Yes, absolutely. They've been approved. If it's an ALC member, though, I'd like to keep it to an ALC member. Otherwise, if you're on a team, that's a great question. If the Rainmaker's not an ALC member, I would rather coach an ALC member or I to review those questions first. Okay. All right. No other questions?
Yeah, what's ALC?
Good. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, so ALC is our Agent Leadership Council. The best way to say that is our board of directors. So every year, matter of fact, we just sent out on Monday invitations to our top 10% to invite them to come in and join to interview for our ALC, which is our board of directors that will govern for 2020, right? And so those are the people who we've chosen to help make the policies and some of the procedures that we have here in the market center, right? Okay, it's because Keller Williams is for the agent and agent-led. That's what's cool about this company. Jay.
The next 2 classes the same or different?
Same, exactly same. Yep. I'm just giving lots of opportunity for people to hear this message.
Now, the 30 days question I can ask you. Instead of copy, I can ask you this. I need help on this.
He's just checking to make sure that.
You're going to listing? Okay, yeah. I mean, if you're okay, but wait.
Wait a minute,
Wait.
to go on a listing or to
Just to be clear, just to be clear.
let's talk after. Let's do an act. Yeah, let's talk after.
Yeah, to see that.
Instead of copy, I want
So with Jay and Mandeville, in case y'all can't hear what Jay's saying, Jay is basically asking to shadow someone on a listing appointment. Here's what I'll tell you guys. If that's your hang up, we have agents in the market center that will be more than willing to let you shadow them. Okay, that might be when you have coffee with your tribe member. They say, okay, may I shadow you on your next buyer consult or your next listing appointment? We have lots of people that would take you on there. Okay, good. Okay, 60-day goals. Now it's the 10, the ALC meeting. Y'all have been with this company for 11 years. And one of the things that always surprises me is how few agents actually attend the ALC meeting, okay? So I'm gonna say this the best way that I can say it with a whole lot of hugs and a love around it. I'm trying to package it nicely. I don't think we have a right, and I'm saying we, myself included, to complain about things in the market center if we don't attend ALC meetings and make our voice heard to an ALC member. The ALC meetings are for you to make the changes in the market center that need to be changed. Okay? So what happens is a lot of people want to have coffee pot issues and complain about things, but never come to the things to make the change. We don't know what we don't know sometimes. I will just say that. The ALC is there to serve you. They're a representation of you. So if you want to see something changed in the market center or something implemented or things, you need to bring it before the ALC so that we can talk about it and discuss on it on your behalf. I think some of the best ideas that we have implemented in this market center have actually come from the agent body. So I think that we need to make it a habit that we're there. And I'm not saying you come to everyone every month. There's 12 a year. Okay? If you attended at least one a quarter, that would be very beneficial for you to understand how and why the market center works and runs the way it does. Okay? All right. The next one is within the 60-day period, you need to complete Ignite. Now, I'm going to go ahead and let you know right now, we're going to be starting Ignite right after Mega Camp. It is going to end right before Bold starts, and we will not run Ignite again for this year. So in order to meet this obligation, and because we have a contract that I just signed off with Max at KW at International that says I will not run Ignite at the same time as Bold. Bold will end in December, right before Christmas. So the only opportunity that I have to fulfill our contract here is for you guys to jump into Ignite when it starts at the end of August and complete it, or I will make an exception. If you sign up for Bold, it will count for your Ignite requirement within your 60 days. Because there's no other way. I can only run Ignite one more time this year and the whole series.
Is that something that's here, local, or?
Yeah, oh yeah, Ignite is in Ignite or Bold?
Ignite.
Ignite is. We teach it in the market center. Stacy, is it going to be in the market center or business center?
Market Center, August 19th.
There you go. So it'll be in Mandeville. And Stacy, what's the times? 8 to 12? Are we doing the morning?
8:30 to 11:30.
There we go. I know we just talked about it. I want to make sure I'm playing on it.
Every day.
So it's 12 classes.
Go to the Market Center training calendar.
Yep. Matter of fact, I just approved the training calendar before I jumped in my car and came 100 miles an hour over here. So it is approved. It's up, and you can go pull our training calendar and get all the information for Ignite. And I would say sign up. Yes, sir.
On the calendar, I know you used to do this on the desk, but is it possible to just have one printed calendar? And that is easy to do.
To look at.
For everything.
Yeah, I don't think that's a problem. Later, we can print one up right here.
Yesterday.
I think the only challenge, here's where I'll have the challenge with it, Jay, to be very honest with you. We just printed it. We need to get the one that Mandy just did for me. If you just go print the calendar, you can't read it because of the way it's a digital copy now. Mandy just did it for me for the region where she listed out everything because I had to send it to the region, so I didn't have to explain it. That is what I do not mind posting on the bulletin board in here. Okay, so we can do that. Okay, but guys, we're a technology company. Go to the calendar and see what we are. Yes.
Or did you say it was 12 training classes?
It's 12 sessions.
If we already did that, we have to do it again.
If you've completed, I will tell you this too, Ms. Ray, to be honest with you, a lot of this doesn't apply to you anymore because you're in production. You've capped.
Okay.
So to be honest with you, you've met the obligations. This is really not for you. Just so you know. But I'm glad you're here. No, because you don't meet you've exceeded, you're a capper now. Okay.
Good.
I mean, I was excited
about this.
No, I was honored that you were in here. I thought maybe you were just supporting it, but I'm sitting here thinking, why are you here? Because you're a capper. You've met the criteria that we're asking everyone to meet. Go get sent to production and cap. We just celebrate you at lunch. You're a capper. So if you want to exit out, you will not hurt my feelings because this doesn't apply to you. You can go sell a house. Okay. So you're going to graduate complete and graduate from Ignite. You're going to have at least 2 contracts signed. So by 60 days, you have your second. So now you have 2. So you've got your one from 30 days, and then you have your second one in that 60-day period. Okay. And that, like I said, it could be another buyer's agreement. Just be a buyer's agreement. It's showing me that you've gotten into some action. Okay. You're going to have coffee with the new tribe member. You're going to attend that monthly business meeting. And now we're going to add 50 new contacts. Josh's team is telling us over and over, it's not just about getting our contacts into the database, it's constantly feeding it. Matter of fact, that is something we learned in Bowl, right? It's to feed the database, right? And so we're going to add 50 new contacts, okay? So let me break this down for you. How many days are in a month?
22 business days.
Okay, so I was going to go there next. So, okay, so we have 30 days. You have how many business days? So 22. Well, let's just say you only really want to work 20 days. Basically, it's 1.25. So let's just say one contact or two contacts a day. Your goal in real estate is to find 2 new people to put into your database. I will tell you, worst case scenario, go steal the fishbowl of business cards at the local Chinese restaurant and stick them in there. I don't think it's the best way to grow your business. Okay, I've done it. It didn't really work. Yeah, it's not the best way to grow your business. Yeah, we get in the habit of realizing every day we talk to 2 new people and add them into our database and put them on a smart plan, guys. It will change your business. The challenges in our own market center and actually throughout all real estate agents, if I was to say, pull up your database right now, how many people could you even market? If I was a seller, how many people could you market my listing to in your database? Most of y'all don't even have a database. Most of the people don't even have people in the database. So they're not marketing to anybody. Oh, but I'm going to tell everybody about it. There's no system around that. So we're building a good business now. And so we want a database so that we can put the information in there and start marketing to them with smart plans, okay? When I first came in 2008, 2009, and 2010, when we had, actually it was called My Red Tools. That was our CRM at the time. Part of it had the 33 touch, so we had the drip campaigns. It made sense to me to put people in my database and put them on a 33 touch campaign. And yes, people unsubscribed. I said, okay, I unsubscribe from things every day if they're not of value to me. So will people do that? Yes, they're not rejecting you. It's not that they don't like you anymore. They just didn't want it in their inbox. Yet you will find somebody who's going to read it and say, hey, I was just thinking about buying a house. Can you help me? Right? That's the goal of this. Okay. And then, so any questions on the 60-day goals? Any of them? We're good?
No, we're good.
So for the contracts, so I know within the 30 days it says, to have a contract. And what if you've spoken with someone, but it's actually getting past the 30 days and it'll fall into the 60 days that the person is, how does that work?
Okay, so I will tell you the career visioning rule is that there's no yellow light. In career visioning, it's red light, green light, okay? So if you don't meet the 30 days, career visioning process says it's red light or green light. So if you don't meet it, then that's a what? That's a red line, okay? Here's what I will say. I will say, let's have a conversation. My goal is not to exit out, let me just say that up front, is not to exit out every agent who wants to be here and wants to be in production. This is for me to say, why are people not? I can't help. Your leadership team can't help if we don't know what's keeping you from getting in production. This allows for us to have the conversation. This is basic. This is very basic real estate 101 practices. And what I realized from inspecting what I expected of our agents in the market center is that I would say 70 to 75% of our agents in this market center did not have their database set up when we first started coming in. We had a really force last year. If you guys remember, with singing a song and everything to get people to adopt into Kelly. Well, now it's like I want to say anytime anybody asks me a question, did you ask Kelly? Because Kelly is very smart. She's no longer a 2-year-old. She might be a 4 or 5-year-old. She's still a toddler, yet she is really smart now and what she can help us with. And we have so many of our agents not using it. I can't help you if I don't know. So Diana, to answer you, ultimately, we get to have a conversation. And then we get to decide this. I just don't want to be in December 31st when it comes time to renew your license and I have 100 people walking out of our market center. And we were like, we didn't even see that comment. Right? I'd rather know along the way how you're progressing and how's it working. Okay? All right. Any other questions? Jay?
It's not a question, but it's related to contact. I had initially was with your person, like this, complete some contact list you had explained
Yeah, it's very, well, and Scott Leroy will help too. I saw in the Blue Tribe that Misty was working on, I think there's an app or something that can transfer all of the Scott Leroy is your resource if you want to get a bunch of contacts into command from your phone, from your Gmail account, from eEdge. He can help get that over, right? Don't go and spend all that time doing it. Use Scott Leroy. We're paying for them, so use them, okay? All right, the 90-day goal. So by the time you've reached 90 days, we want you to attend another ALC meeting, okay, so that you can see how these flow. We want you to attend, of course, the monthly business meeting again. And now we're going to have how many pieces of business? 3. All right. I want you guys to think about that. What would it look like right now if you had 3 pieces of business that you were working on? Right? It gives you something to get up for every day. And then obviously we're going to add 50 new contracts. I will say this is the easiest plan to get into production because ultimately it's a contact sport. Real estate is a contact sport. If we don't talk to enough people, we'll never get the business, guys. And everybody talks to people differently. There's some that like cold calling, most do not. Do y'all realize there's very, very, very few people who actually enjoy picking up the phone and calling people, right? Very few people. What I'm telling you is that's not the only way to do it, right? We can go networking. We can do open houses and events. We can go, coming up very shortly is Hot August Nights. Hot August Nights, you have an opportunity to meet 100 people, I promise. Because I've done a Bold 100 before on Hot August Nights. That's coming up here, right here in Hammond. Covington, I think, has the White Linen Nights that's coming up. We're about to hit festival season, right? There are so many things that are about to happen that allows you to have the opportunity to get out. You need to get out, meet people, talk to people. And I will ultimately say, if you will follow, and Leslie, I know you asked me for this, my FSBO binder, if you would, I should have stopped Judy before she walked out. Judy started doing it, and she was giving me reports after 2 weeks, after 3 weeks, what was happening. My FSBO binder plan works. I'll make sure our coaches, I know Stacey Ray knows it, Leslie, I'll make sure that you know it, and the coaches can help you implement that. The final thing that I want to say, guys, is that we care. This is not, we understand that you're independent contractors. I'm not at all delusional around that. I just know that most of our people who have come into real estate came from like a 9-to-5 job where they were clocking in and they had the accountability of the time clock and the boss. And it hurts, like it really does when we lose a person from this company because of non-production. And this year we lost over 50 people because of non-production. And I'm like, those people, first of all, I think if you went through all the trouble to pass that test, I mean, that was agony in itself. I want you to have some business. And so that's the whole point of this is so that we can help you, guide you. It opens up conversation. That's all. So that we want to make sure that you are achieving your goals and that you want to stay in this. And if the answer is that, you know what, maybe this isn't for me, we want to support you on your next. That's all it is. Questions?
What's FSBO binder?
Okay, great. So for sale by owners, perfect. Yeah. So I know, bless your heart. I'm glad you're asking questions. So it's for sale by owner, and my binder is an 8-week plan where you start every week. You're adding 5 for sale by owners to the binder, and there's a process between calling them, writing a note card, sending them something of value, door knocking to them. So there's a system behind it, and every week you're adding 5 new for sale by owners along with a follow-up or call to action to it. If you do it at the end of 8 weeks, you have 40 for sale by owners in 8 weeks. If you guys want to see the power of that, I want you to look at your calendars for the past 8 weeks. And I want you to say over the past 8 weeks, so if you go 8 weeks back on your calendar, ask yourself how many appointments or how many for sale by owners or contacts or clients did you pick up at that time? Very few people can say they did 5 a week. But by having the binder and the accountability of that, you go out and all of a sudden you're going to find for sale by owners everywhere. They're everywhere. right? And now you've got something to get up in the morning and go do. My goal today is to go right around and to find 5 for sale by owners if I have to. Now, there's other ways to do it. Yeah, you could do that. It's like I'm going to get on there and I'm going to find 5 people today that have raised their hand and said, I want to sell. Diana Kokoska tells us FSBO stands for the fastest source of business out there. Y'all, it is the easiest thing. A for sale by owner wants to sell. Do y'all know the statistics from the National Association of Realtors around for sale by owners? 97% of them will list with an agent within 8 weeks. That's why I developed the 8-week plan. I was like, at 90, so when you take the math, when you take 40 and you divide it by 97, that's how many are going to have listed in that 8-week period. And if you haven't talked to any of them, you miss out on opportunity, right? And I will tell you, it does not have to be on, my kids will tell you if they were standing here in the room, there were plenty of times we passed it for sale by owner, they were in the car, I'd park it, thought, like, no, Mom, we don't want to do this. Like, I'd run up to the door, I would knock, and I'd have my business card. Or if I was prepared, I'd have my pre-listing packet. Yet in the moments when I was not prepared, I would have my business card, I would knock, I see you have a help wanted sign in the yard. At some point, you're going to want to hire an agent. Do you mind to interview me? Can't say, got kids in the car, just wanted to introduce myself. Do you know how many houses I listed by that? And you know how many times they told me, like, no one, lots of calls, people called all the time. No one ever came and knocked on my door. Once they met me, like, how could they not want to list with me? I wasn't an ogre. I didn't have horns. I smiled. I had energy just like I did just now for you. And they're like, oh, I like her. If I need a list, I'm going to call. And no, I just stayed in touch. And so, you know what? And next week, I'd send them a note card. Hey, just checking her. I'll give them a call. Hey, just checking on you. Have you sold your house yet? No. Oh, man. Well, at some point, you're going to want to hire an agent to get it sold. So when you do, just give me a call. I'll check in with you next week. That's it. That was it. And very few people were mean to me. And if they were mean, I didn't want to do business with them anyway. Go to another one. There's a lot of nice people. First, try to sell it on their own. They want to save money. And all you're doing is taking money out of their pocket. So you just got to convince them at some point, pain versus pleasure, the pain of trying to sell their house on their own and not getting to their pleasure, to their next place, is enough that they're going to hire an agent and they pay them. You guys have seen it. How many times you ridden by for sale by owner and next thing you know, somebody else's sign is in the yard. You're like, I knew I should have stopped. I knew I should have knocked on the door. So in your car, you should always have pre-listing packets ready with your business cards. Don't pass up the for sale by owner. Run up there and knock on the door. If they're not home, leave it. Leave it. And then call them and say, hey, I left a package at your front door, pre-listing package. I know you never go to your front door because you go through your garage. I just want to tell you it was out there before the rain got to it. If you have a chance, look over my pre-listing packet, and I'd love an opportunity to come see your home. Y'all see how easy that is? It's so easy. If you're scared, just leave it and run. Do the whole knock on the door and run. It's better than what you're doing. Right? Are we good, Mandeville?
We're good? Yes.
All right. Okay, that's all I have, guys. My goal is to encourage you. Please reach out to me. Please reach out to our coaches. Please reach out to our leadership team. We are truly taking a stand to make this happen for you. Okay? Any questions, Mandeville? All right, love you guys. Thank y'all. All right. Y'all have any questions? Anything else, Jay?
In my face here. Good God.
A little bit louder. This is
On your 8-week Facebook, I want